Welcome back. We got another awesome set of Windjet fog lights for you. This time for a GMC Sierra 2500 or 3500 HD model. These things are going to replace the OEM fog lights, and they're going to be a lot cheaper to do it as well. So it does take a moment to get these things installed. Let's get started.
We'll be starting in the hood of the truck, where we need to remove some OEM protective pieces. Starting with this plastic cover with 12 clips to remove. They can be easily notched out with a tool. With the clips removed, the plastic cover easily slides off. We can then move on to taking off the front grille. It has 4 screws to be removed on the top. Keep in mind that there are other tension points where it is clipped in from behind. Carefully apply some force and it should pop off. Next step is to remove the entire OEM front bumper. There are 2 top screws on each side, as well as 1 bottom screw on each to remove as well. Remove just the bottom screw as shown. Don't touch the other 2 screws. We're now heading underneath the truck and directly behind the fog lights. There's an additional support bar connected to the chassis. It has 4 screws. These will need to be removed to get the OEM bumper off. Power tools are handy, but you'll need to use an extension tool to manually remove the last screw in this tight space. Repeat this process on the other side. It is recommended to leave the top screws partially screwed in until you are ready to remove it. This way the bumper will be able to hang slightly without the risk of falling off. Keep in mind as well that there's a wire behind the bumper that will need to be disconnected as well. Remove the wire clip and disconnect it. Now we can carefully remove the OEM front bumper. An extra hand is really helpful for this part. Now we're heading to the workbench to prepare the bumper with our new replacement fog lights. There are a couple of metal OEM protective plates that stand in our way. There are 8 screws to remove on each side to get them both off. Make quick work of them with a power tool. Before you lift the plate off completely, take a look in from the side and you'll see a wire connected with some conduit. We need to carefully unclip the 4 points that are holding it on. Now we can lift the metal plate off and have complete access to the fog light. Be aware that this metal plate can be quite heavy. This fog light is now ready to be replaced. Take off the 3 small screws holding it on. Carefully shimmy it back and be sure to have your other hand supporting it from the other side to make sure it doesn't fall straight out. It's time to install your new replacement fog lights. These are designed to be the same fog lights as the OEM, but at a much more affordable price. As you can see, the connections and fittings on the back are also the same as the OEM. We start with this top tab that will be aligned to the top of the fog light opening on the frame. With the fog light holding in place, we can secure the 3 remaining points. Repeat this process on the other side. Remember to take your time unclipping the inside wire. Pop the light out and we can install the new one. Then we can secure the metal protective plate back on. Use your other hand to clip in the wiring conduit as you place it on. Start from each end of the wire. Take your time to ensure everything is aligned and tighten it all back down. Then simply repeat this process on the other side, taking your time to properly reconnect the wire conduit. And our front bumper will be ready to be reinstalled on the Sierra. Let's go over the included wiring bundle with its universal switch unit. The switch unit can be disconnected and separated by unclipping these green connectors. Then we have the 15 amp fuse and the relay. We also have these direct connectors for the fog lights on each side. Next we have 2 sets of black and red wires. The first set with an exposed end on the positive red wire and a black ground wire will power the switch unit. The second set of black and red wires are the connectors for the vehicle's battery. That completes our wiring bundle and we can head back to the truck. So now we are ready to hook up our wiring bundle. We'll start by running these direct connectors to each side for the fog lights. We'll be running both wires down into this compartment, and we'll be fishing them down one at a time. The wire will pop out just below the headlight. Run both wires all the way through, and the connector with the shorter black wire is now in position. We'll take the longer part of the black wire to run it to the other fog light. Go ahead and run it behind the brackets, around the top on the other side, and through the bracket hole as shown. This direct connector is now in position. Now is a good time to grab some zip ties to clean up the wiring here. A few well-placed zip ties will clean the wiring right up. We can let the direct connectors dangle for now. We're ready to reinstall the OEM front bumper, and a mate will come in again handy here. Ensure it is well aligned and re-secure the 4 screws on top. Take your time and be sure to use an extension tool again to properly re-secure the bottom screws back in. Then it's just a case of tightening it all down with a power tool. The bumper is almost secured, but don't forget to re-secure the support bars underneath. They each have 2 side screws on the left and 1 bottom screw on the right. Make sure they're all secured strongly and solid. And do the same on the other side. We can now grab our dangling direct connectors and connect them into each new fog light. With our 2 direct connectors sorted, we can move further up the black wire to the relay and the fuse. These just need to be secured cleanly in the engine bay. Next, grab the red and black wires with the prepared connectors and connect them to the battery. Black for the ground and red for the positive. Our switch unit bundle will now need to be run into the interior of the truck. To start, we recommend grabbing a tape measurer. It's a handy tool to help run the wire into the interior of the Sierra. It'll run straight through this compartment directly through to the other side. Grab some electrical tape and tightly secure it to the green connector part of the wiring. Then we can start to slowly pull it through to the truck's interior. It's almost inside now. Lastly, we need to locate this small 1-inch opening. It's tucked in there just below the door hinge and allows for the wires to enter into the driver's area, where you'll see them sneak in below the driver's side dash. Now in the driver's side area, we need to remove these parts of the OEM protective seals as shown, so we can access and remove this side panel of the internal fuse box. 6 inner clips hold it in from behind. Now run the red power wire through the dash and hook it up to the fuse box through an accessory power source. You might need to purchase this additional pigtail fuse extender. It can be purchased from any auto parts store. If you cannot find the accessory power source from the fuse box, the cigarette lighter will always be the safest spot to tap the wires into. Connect the black ground wire to any exposed bolt on the chassis. We recommend this one that sits just above the fuse box. Next, connect the switch unit with the green connectors. And our new independent switch unit is ready. There's some strong adhesive on the back that will let you place the switch unit anywhere that's convenient for you. Those flashing red and green lights indicate a job well done. To finish up in here, zip tie the bundle and hide it behind the panel. Snap that side panel back into place with a bit of force. Reconnect the seal and protective strip. And you'll be all set on the interior. We just need to finish up the front by reattaching the grille. Gently push it back into place, then screw in and tighten the top 4 points. Then slide in and secure the last OEM protective piece with the remaining 12 clips. Take a moment to ensure your wiring is clean in the engine bay. Then we can drop the hood because we are done.